Hello everyone, this is Crypto BitLaw, here with another blockchain legal brief, and we have an interesting case for you today. Today we're going to discuss how the Supreme Court of New York recently rejected Tether's bid to conceal their reserve records from the public. But before we dive in, please, if you like the content, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And with that said, let's jump right on in. Okay, so as we can see here, Finbold reports that U.S. court rejects Tether's bid to conceal reserve records from the public. They say, the petition that Tether, USDT, presented to the Supreme Court of the State of New York asking permission to block the public from viewing documents that explain the composition of Tether's reserves over the last few years has been refused. In particular, the decision and order on motion with the leave to file decision was posted by Crypto Whale, who tweeted the documents on May 17th. And the tweet is, breaking, New York Supreme Court has rejected Tether's petition to block the public from receiving documents detailing the composition of Tether's reserves over the past few years. In February, attorneys representing the stablecoin issuer Tether and its parent firm, iFinex, struck back against CoinDesk by entering a court lawsuit between the publication and the Office of the New York Attorney General's Office, NYAG, stating, quote, the records at issue here include Bitfinex and Tether's closely guarded, non-public internal records that were developed at considerable expense and could not be acquired by its competitors other than through this FOIL request. Tether is the biggest stablecoin issuer in the crypto markets, with more than $74 billion worth of tokens in circulation, and accounting for almost half of all transactions against Bitcoin on centralized exchanges, according to CoinMarketCap data. A year ago, the company paid $18.5 million to the New York Attorney General for its role in Bitfinex's efforts to cover up an $850 million hole in its payment processor, Crypto Capital Corp's finances. A press statement from New York Attorney General Leetta James said that Bitfinex and Tether, quote, recklessly and unlawfully covered up massive financial losses to keep their scheme going and protect their bottom lines, referring to the settlement. Tether and Bitfinex must also file quarterly asset disclosures. After Tether delivered its balance sheet to the NYAG, CoinDesk requested the reserves under FOIL. However, in August, Tether filed a lawsuit against the NYAG's office, alleging that disclosing its financial statement would, quote, tilt the competing playing field against Tether. In a statement published on February 4th, Tether said, the settlement specified what information should be disclosed publicly, such as a breakdown of Tether's reserves by category, and what should be disclosed privately to the NYAG, such as particular investment details. The private aspects are those that no business would publish for the competition to exploit. In August, Tether and iFinex, which also owns the cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex, petitioned the New York State Supreme Court to prevent the Office of the State's Attorney General from supplying CoinDesk with records showing its reserves. All right, now before we go on and kind of discuss some of the main points about the article at issue, I just wanted to bring up some of these recent developments with respect to Tether. I don't know if many of you out there have heard about this, but recently there has been an overwhelming amount, more than normal, redemptions of Tether stablecoins. As we can see, as noted right here, Tether USDT redemptions fuel fears about the stablecoin's backing. Investors have withdrawn more than $7 billion from Tether since it briefly dropped from its dollar peg, raising fresh questions about the reserve's underpinnings in the world's largest stablecoin. Tether's circulating supply has slipped from about $83 billion a week ago to less than $76 billion on Tuesday, according from data from CoinGecko. And then there was this post that was floating around on Reddit. It's been 7 days of constant reductions in USDT, $1 billion yesterday, with it being the most oversold 28 weekly RSI since 2018, yet no one knows a thing. Here's their TLDR. It's a complex Ouroboros of loans and book valuations that essentially creates money out of thin air, which explains how billions in liquidity, velocity of money, can disappear so fast with no real impact on the peg. Okay, interesting. And they question the fact that there's really no publicly available audit. And it touches back to the case at issue, the lack of transparency about the reserves in the documents. All right, so turning back to the case at bar, what I see here in that first article with respect to the New York Supreme Court rejecting Tether's bid to conceal their reserve records from the public, I think that the reason Tether is fighting so hard to keep those reserve records public is it's that old adage, where there's smoke, there's fires. Clearly, there's something that Tether, Bitfinex, the parent company iFinex, don't want the public to see. If there wasn't, then why would they be fighting so hard to keep these records behind closed doors? Now, their argument, Tether's, is that disclosing the records would, quote, tilt the playing field against Tether. And they think the records at issue are closely guarded secrets that could, create some sort of unbalanced playing field with respect to their competitors. No matter how I spin it in my head, I just can't see that as the case. You're just giving a record of what's backing your assets, right? What assets you have on hand that back that stablecoin. And whether it's cash equivalents, I think people have a right to know what's backing this coin. And I could see why Tether would be so hesitant to release that data, because I guess there's something in there that they don't want people to know about, something that could get them in trouble or cause some sort of run on this project. And I think it's also telling to note that in the past, the New York Attorney General's office literally caught Tether red-handed. They stated, and I quote, they unlawfully covered up financial losses to keep their scheme going and cover their bottom line. And so the New York Attorney General's office has done a deeper dive into what's actually going on behind the scenes at Tether. And I believe that they've seen information that the general public is not privy to. And that's why, they've been so dead set on bringing a lot of this to light. And I think Tether, they probably, intervening in that case between the CoinDesk and the New York Attorney General's office trying to get access to that data, I think that they just kind of, shedded more light on this issue. And so I think it's ultimately a good thing that the New York Supreme Court denied Tether's bid to conceal these records, because I think, sunlight is the best disinfectant in cases like this. And I'd hate to see the crypto industry have to go through any more pain, especially at a time like this. I think we're on really shaky ground, especially after what happened with the whole Terra thing, right? For my financial sake, because, I've got just as much skin in the game as the next guy. I recently divested most of my Tether holdings, and as far as stablecoins, any stablecoins that I have, they're fully USDC, just because I never trusted Tether. As soon as I started learning about the exposure with Evergrande and all these other, issues with the New York Attorney General's office, I'm just like, I'm out. No, not enough for me. At least there's a different level of transparency with USDC as opposed to Tether. But at this point, with a 1-2 punch, first UST, Terra, and I don't know if the market could, I know it would survive, but it feels like it would be nuclear winter. If Tether blew up, oh my lord, we think we're seeing pain now. If Tether blew up, we don't know pain, guys. This would be a whole other level of pain and destruction and just blood everywhere in the streets for the markets. So, I'm gonna plan for the worst, hope for the best, and just kind of watch this situation continue to play out in real time. But it's like that old adage, knowing's half the battle. So I just wanted to get this information out there. The best thing you could do, everybody, if you're watching this, is just, do your own research and protect yourself. Stay safe out there. Don't take unnecessary risk where you don't have to. Don't overexpose yourself in any one sector or market or project. Balance and moderation is always the key. And so, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Please, if you did, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. We'd appreciate that. And so, thanks again for watching, everyone, and we'll see you all in the next video.